ऑन करिए गुप्ता जी, रिकॉर्ड। रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं हो रहा? नहीं, आप ऑन करो, मैं बंद करता हूँ। Welcome, wonderful 11 qualified individuals, most essentially required for clearly, completely evolving in our life. The quality of knowing and doing our seva in the world, the quality lakshana of working for the Sanatana Dharma, the quality of sufficient vairagya, the quality of bhakta, quality of shishya, quality of jignasu, quality of mumukshu, and the quality of shrota, quality of sadhaka. So too the qualities of the one who is very hard in the efforts, working dynamically, having that dynamism, inspiration intact. Let us surrender ourselves to the grace of all these six sources of strength, empowerment, etc. The Parabrahma Tattva, the Ishvara, the Adi Parashakti Mata, the Devata Gana, the Guru Gana, so too our Shruti Mata. Beautiful Upanishad, Shwethashwathara. Slowly we are involving in it. The Sambandha Bhashyam, so beautiful. The first three thoughts themselves are so complete, perfect. Then the quotes we are seeing, Upanishadic quotes are over. Bhagavad Gita, then other Shastras. Bhagavad Gita, three quotes that are there for us to go through. Then we continue. All of that talking about what is the moksha sadhana, shashvata moksha sadhana. Moksha is from the bondage of struggle, from the bondage of seekings, from the bondage of limitations, from the bondage of miseries, etc., permanently. So, that is the topic under discussion, and that is possible only through the Vidya. To give Vidya alone, the Upanishads are there, and on Upanishads, Vidya alone is given, which is a moksha hetu, no other thing. Like in a hospital, only the deceased person's diseases are treated and is given moksha from that physical diseases and pains. In that hospital, the other legal works, the political works, or the economical works, or technical engineering things, so many branches are there in the world. They are not there in the hospital. Hospital is meant only for curing the diseased patients and give them moksha from that dukkha. So too, Upanishads don't have any of the other branches of binding knowledges on the name of knowledges. It only gives the moksha Brahma Vidya. So that is how the beautiful text we have taken up. In fact, from the Ishavasya around 1400 days back, we started without break 9 Upanishads. We have seen ninth one. It's all Rishi Krupa, Guru Krupa. Good. Before continuing, before our Prarthana Sankalpa, the 2 minutes thought today is very short. First and foremost is how much clear we are in the understanding of the Shastra. Through the Shastra, the theme. In that, there is the glory of that theme that is given also. How much clearly we are clear about it. What our Shastra is teaching as our ultimate goal. First of all, the subject matter has it clearly been understood by us. Then, have we really understood, really it is great and it is worthy. On this first basis only, the subsequent things depend on. Is the greatness, grandness, glory of the goal indicated? Is it very clearly clear to us or not? First of all, what it is to be understood, then is it great? It is worthy. We have to know because generally the intellect decides depending on what is more worthy than what is less. If the intellect is given the data that this is greater than this one, this always will go for the greater only. So one of the thing we lack, which we have to now clarify is the clear understanding about the goal and its mahima, not just heard only, but felt in our own heart. Before that, with the buddhi, we have done personally vicharana. हमको लगना चाहिए. Like when we go for shopping, when the shopkeeper shows anything, items, so we don't buy it because he tells. We don't buy it because the object is there. We don't buy because the दुकान वाले को ना उससे फायदा होगा. Nobody does it. We buy only when we need it, when we want it, when we like it, when we know that it is useful for us. In the same way, the clear understanding about the subject matter of Upanishad, the clear understanding about its greatness, grandness, glory, then clearly accepting its greatness. This is where, the very, it's a core of actual spiritual sadhana. When the understanding is superficial, then love for it, the acceptance of its glory, won't be there in our heart. And in our heart already, the greatness of the world is established, isn't it? Therefore, we seek that only, we go for it only. Therefore, the clarity, clearest clarity of two things. What exactly is that? Like, let us say, the Paramatma is defined as Sat Chit Ananda. Have we gone deeply to understand what is Sat, what is Chit, what is Ananda, what is Advitiya? And if that is the truth, what is its glory? If it is so, so what? What is its relation with what we are seeking in our world? ये थोड़ा बौद्धिक समझदारी होना चाहिए. Intellectual clarity, understanding. So, through the study of Shastras, let us focus on that aspect. Okay. Then comes the second one. After the being the clear about the subject and its glory, second is therefore that alone has to be sought. Desire for it. Here also, how intense is that desire? Intensely intense has to become our desire to possess that, to experience that, to reach out to it, to embrace it. Is it not? Because towards whatever the desire is intense, at that moment particularly, and in generally throughout life, we will go towards that only. Just like in the earlier case, we have the value for the world is so much fully accepted by our heart. Therefore, our desire always intense is only for obtaining the things of the world. That is how every one of us are samsaris. No, to become samsari world is an easy thing because not much dimag required, not much intense sacrifices are required. All bhogas are widespread. Touch them with the indriyas. Quickly the pleasures, happinesses are coming. Nobody asks, nobody to stop. Easy to gain. You can gain lot of money by this or that method and go for this bhoga. ये बहुत आसान का मार्ग होता है प्रेय मार्ग. बट दिस श्रेय मार्ग के लिए you know, the desire for it, intense desire for it, doesn't happen by that. दैट इज व्हाट इज द मेन पॉइंट. धीरे धीरे हमको वो बढ़ाना पड़ता है. तीव्र मुमुक्षुता इट इज कॉल्ड, डीप इंटेंस डिजायर. तो both go together. The clear understanding about the thing and its glory is directly proportional to our intensity of desire to possess it. But that also again has to be cultivated, has to be developed in us. How do we develop? Both ways, by looking at the Mahatmas who have already reached, getting inspiration from them, or living, looking at our own lower life, which we are living now, and seeing the possibility of higher life. And there is possible that I can live a higher life. Seeing that possibility, यार मुझे वो करना है, वो पाना है. That sort of intensity we have to develop. है ना? When we are very meager, very meek, very, touch me not type of sadhakas, there's no intensity, then no regularity, no sincerity, no commitment, nothing will be there in life. Intensity is required. About the desire, that I must reach to that state of being, that I must experience it. Isn't it? All of them, even Shastra Gyan ka bhi, intense desire to have the Shastra Jnana, intense desire to have the Anubhuti of the subject that is said in the Shastra, the Paramatma. सो हाउ लाइट वी आर अबाउट इट. ठीक है, मिलेगा तो मिले, जब जब भगवान चाहे तो दे देंगे, तब आराम से ले लेंगे हम. अब भगवान को जल्दी नहीं है, हमें क्या है? इन दिस टाइप ऑफ अनसेड एटीट्यूड वी लिव. बट द थिंग्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, सो इंटेंस डिजायर फॉर देम, और इतने छाव के साथ वी जस्ट गो गेट देम एंड इंडल्ज इन दैट. है ना? How lightly we keep aside our spiritual every aspects, puja, upasana, japa, etc. Either we keep aside or postpone them or sacrifice them for our intense desire, or even if we do is at a formality, superficial. That all is because intensity नहीं है उसको पाने का, है ना? It's called तीव्र जिज्ञासा, तीव्र मुमुक्षा. Okay, then comes the third most important one. Once the clarity is clearer than the clearest about the goal and its glory, etc., then when we have become deep and intense in our desire to possess that, experience that, obtain it, still the third thing remains. That is called, therefore, doing the due sadhanas for that. Necessary sadhanas for that. Then, in the sadhana also again, another very important ingredient is the aggressiveness in the sadhana. Again, those are two sadhanas, aggressiveness. One, our own sadhanas, what we have to do aggressively. Equally, doubly aggressively, we have to pray to the Paramatma also. And in the prayer, when you are very meek, very dull, हाँ ठीक है भगवान, तुमको टाइम है, तुमको मन है, तुम चाहते हो तो तुम जीना, आपकी मर्जी, ऐसा नहीं छोड़ना. Very aggressive in our prayers. I want it, that's it. See, we are seeing in our Shivananda Lahari all this aggressiveness. Lovingly but aggressive. Shambho Lokaguro Madiya Manasaha Saukhyopadesham Kuru. Then Chitte Smarami Anvaham. See yesterday wala. How aggressive is this demand to the God? Not aggressive the other way arrogantly, but मुझे चाहिए बस. In that above shloka we have seen कि आपका ये पूजाएं एक बार भी कर ले मुक्ति चेत, देन किम अल्प देवता, why should I worship them? अस्थिर देवताय अनुसरणेन किम लभ्यते? Why should I go for the Astira Devatas? When once I do any of these sadhanas to you, you bless me mukti, with mukti. So in that we see the aggressiveness, the demandingness कि बस एक बार मैं पूजा करूंगा तो you bless me, you give me moksha. prayer to the God intense. But the Lord will give that blessings even if your prayers are aggressive, only when our attempts also are aggressive. And here again the crucial point, main point of our today's discussion. And because of our fear that something will happen to the sharira, because of our fear that we may miss the contacts with the worldly people, because of our fear that we may have to give up such a loving bhoga of the world, that we fail to bring aggressiveness in our sadhanas. Whether they are sadhanas of giving up something like nidra adi, not totally, but that half an hour, 1 hour in the morning, and the sadhana of taking up and doing the things. Aggressiveness in sadhana, isn't it? That this 1 week, no, I'm not going to see TV only or any of those entertaining things which I involve in. बस जो भी हो जाए मरना है तो मरूंगा कोई नहीं. Like that aggressiveness of giving it up. So to aggressiveness of taking up. I just find my time quickly having finished whatever my jobs I have to do. And immediately I'll go to my study table, open the Upanishad and study. Or my the asana where I sit and do my japa. Or my puja of the Lord which I do twice a day. You know, that aggressiveness. So too, the aggressiveness in giving up whatever makes us disturbing, whatever makes us lethargic. कोई भी हो उसको पहचानना कि these are the things because of which my prakriti is kshipta muda vikshipta. I have to recognize it. Then I should have aggressiveness to say no to them, drop them. Isn't it? So many things are required in sadhana to give up, and aggressiveness is required there. So, too many things have to be done. There also we have to be very aggressive, aggressively aggressive. In doing it means in rejecting whichever is stopping us from doing it. Aggressiveness is not agitation and disturbance. Aggressiveness means what? Quickly involving in our sadhanas with so much of love, with so much of deep involvement in it. The aggressiveness is like today, these 10 slokas of this Yoga Vasishta, which are taught in the class, I will study them deeply. So this half an hour I am doing it for that only. That's called aggressiveness, practically doing. Or these Upanishadic quotes that are given in Shwethashwathara, I will just by heart them. Or I will study deeply them. And this is the time I am sparing for it. I am doing it. Not thinking, but aggressively doing we are talking about. The clarity, clear clarity in the understanding without any vagueness. Pakka. About this is a theme that is taught and that is what is its glory. Nothing surpasses it. It is the greatest thing, if at all, one can try to achieve, and as a human being, we can achieve this clear thing. Equally intense should be our desire to achieve it. उस इंटेंसिटी इतना होना है कि उसके लिए कुछ भी सैक्रिफाइस करने को वी हैव टू बी रेडी. द इंटेंसिटी, इंटेंसिटी. In fact, there should be that restlessness, that sense of urgency in wanting to possess it. When these two are done, clear understanding, intense desire, then comes the aggressive sadhana. In those two sadhanas, one is praying to the Lord aggressively, blackmail karo Bhagwan ko, jabardasti karo, jo karna hai karo, but let it be aggressive. In this case, that's Ravana, Asura, Hiranyakashipu. Their aggressiveness is there, no? In invoking God's grace. That we have to adopt. The only mistake with them is what they asked the Lord was the worldly material thing and powers which they used to destroy the world. बस वो नेगेटिविटी हम नहीं रखेंगे, but aggressive प्रार्थना. Kadava, Kailase, Girishikaraste, you know that? विभोसाम बस्वामिन परमशिव पाहीति निगदन विधातॄणाम कल्पान क्षणमिव विनेश्यामि सुखतः. See the depth, aggressiveness in Our Shankara Bhagavan in doing the prayer. Aggressiveness of Rama in not only thinking, contemplating, understanding about the ephemerality, rasa rahityam about everything, that he gave up. Half of the sadhana हो गया उनका. Everybody बुला रहे हैं उनको. Mother calls, father calls, बेटा खाओ, बेटा पियो, बेटा खेलो, बेटा घूमने जाओ. He's so aggressive in rejecting all of that. Nobody could touch. बैठ गए बस ऐसे. It's only Vashishta Vishwamitra had to call him. Then now you are seeing his aggressive contemplation, aggressive understanding, aggressive rejection of all this. Every chapter you see, last two, three slokas are closed. Slokas are having this theme with which Ramji is closing that. Ki, therefore, when I am bent upon doing this sadhana, how can I involve in the bhoga and all? My mind is not at all ready for it. These people are not understanding it. They think something abnormal with me. They are worried. Is it? Like our children also, by mistake, they aggressively involve in study or aggressively do something spirituality. We feel, yaar, isko kuch gadbad ho gaya. Therefore, we reduce it. Then we bring him to normal state like we are there so that he won't do anything fully. Okay, so the aggressiveness is in prayers, but more than that, ultimate important is how much aggressive we are in sadhana while taking care of everything, yet not becoming frightened about. And as we told, the fear of sharira, fear of anarogya, fear that I may have to away from the people, fear from missing the bhoga. These are the ones which dilute our sadhana, which delay our sadhana, which bring that disinterest or laziness in our sadhana. Such all things we have to curtail, reduce, while again taking care of what's required for our maintenance. And yet, when it comes to doing sadhana, we are aggressive. कुछ भी हो अब बस करेंगे वे आज total involvement or anytime always sadhana is twofold. One is to drop, give up, which is opposite. Pratikula Varjanam it is called. And whatever is the actual sadhana, the convenient thing, the correct thing to do, usko karna. That's called as anukulasya sankalpaha and also doing it. When these three things are there, clarity of understanding, intensity of desire, aggressiveness of approach, definitely we enjoy doing sadhana. We really enjoy our growth. In that effort only, all the weak, unseen but very strong ropes, all weaknesses which are strong ropes, which are pulling us down, we'll be able to cut them or grow beyond them. In one of the class yesterday we saw, no? So with Viveka, again Ramji only says, Viveka asina, dhara asi. That sword which is sharpened, Viveka named sharp, then only that Trishna can be cut. Aho dhira, very good way he says, no? There are some people that uh, which is very difficult to cut. Trishna pasham, they cut with the Viveka asi. Dhira, dhimanta, or vidushascha, some word is used there. They cut us under this trishna aggressively. Dushcharitam or some word is used for that. That is very difficult. So that type of thing may be invoke in us or involve in it. Why? नहीं तो क्या होगा? With all the time given, when in these three things we are weak, time is not correctly used, not correctly for higher purpose it is used. चल रहा है कुछ तो चल रहा है बट उससे उतना मजा नहीं आता है ना. Always remember aggressiveness of Bhagavan Vyasa in giving us so many Purana, Itihasa, Brahma Sutra, Veda Vibhajana. If he is not aggressive, do you think he could have done all of that? See the aggressiveness of our Bhagavan Adi Shankara. At that small age, how many things he has accomplished with minimum resources like we have today. Whole country traveled length and breadth 3 times on foot only. Imagine that quantity of work. How many ashramas he made, how many temples he has revived, how many books he has written, how many vada he has done with the people to prove to them the glory of Advaita Tattva. If you see that, how much aggressive it was. अब बैठे रहने से होता था क्या वो? And the best example for us is our own Gurudev, whom we have seen. 18 hours per day, throughout life he was working, 18 to 20 hours. How aggressive he was in his travel, in his writing books, in his giving lectures, in his managing the samstha. Most difficult is to manage the people, whether devotees or committee members or sadhu sannyasis. Are Baba, how aggressive he had to be. है ना? And everybody's body is body, senses, mind is mind. They try to pull us down, but he has conquered them, he has mastered them by involving in the work in hand aggressively. They are the Adarsha for us. May we be inspired by them to live our aggressive life of sadhana with intense, deep desire, followed by the clear understanding of the goal and means. ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ सुकृतेऽधिकृते बहुधा भवतो भविता समदर्शनलालसता अतिदीनमिमं परिपालय मां भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोध अस्मिन् क्षणे प्राप्तिमोक्षप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति आध्यात्मिकप्रगति पुरोवृद्ध्यर्थम् एकता प्राप्त्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्मसंस्थापने निश्चित अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां निरन्तरदिग्विजयार्थम् अनेकशास्त्र अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्नमध्ये श्री कृष्णयजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषदः आदिशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थ वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे ओमत श्री कृष्णयजुर्वेदांतर्गत श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषद श्री आदिशंकर कृत मंगलाचरण श्लोकम ओम नित्यानंदम निराधारम निखिलाधारम अव्ययम निगमाद्यगतम नित्यम नीलकंठम नमाम्यहं प्रथमोऽध्यायः शांति मंत्र ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शांति 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 संबंध भाष्यम okay we have seen yesterday this one quote sarvam jnana plavena eva vrujinam samtarishyasi. Our effort was to fully focus on every word to understand and thereby total vakya sentence quoted by Adi Shankara to understand. And if it is incomplete for us, in the quoting of Bhagavan it is complete. In our understanding it is incomplete, then of that shloka, the previous or later line from that particular shastra we are adding, and we are trying to be very clear in what is said, in understanding what is said. Then we are connecting it with what is the whole theme of the entire discussion. The theme of entire discussion is avidya nivrutti lakshanasya mokshasya vidya adhinatvat yujyate tadartha upanishat arambha. Yujyate means it's most worthy thing in our life to do is to start the study of Upanishad and intensely, aggressively, deeply involve in it, to know it, do the sadhana, to experience the truth said, because through these processes, when the Atma Anubhuti comes, which is called as Atma Vidya, then Avidya Janita, entire samsara of bandhana, we get freed from. So देखो कितना important बात बताया गया. Everything is in it. But see our mana buddhi neither have the depth to understand, nor have the purity to accept, nor have the intensity to follow it. See, then we have to think, why is it so? Where are we lost? Where is our chitta? Where are our vasanas? What are our habits? In what flow we are running in the 10th gear of the car? So speed, wrong direction. So should we not reduce the speed of the car from 10th to 3rd, 4th, 2nd, then bring to neutral, break it, stop it, then take a reverse. U-turn करना पड़ता है. Isn't it? What a highest of the theme in simple words, even after we are taught by the greatest of the gurus, Sri Adi Shankara, yet see our arrogance of the Manabuddhi. That they say that shut up, you spirituality will be worldly only. You know, in your old movies we used to see, even in the not only movie, that the Daroga, Tanedar, police, if he tries to go and tell something to that gunda of that local area, he says, तुम्हारा बॉस वगैरह भी हमारे हाथ में है, हम उनको पैसे खिलाते हैं, you dare not touch us. How aggressive they are gundas. Even now they are there in some states. You know, political लोग भी होंगे, otherwise political support वाले. No law, legal system, no police force can dare to control them or say anything to them. या तुम गलत कर रहे हो कहने का हिम्मत भी नहीं रखना चाहिए, नहीं तो कत्ल करेगा, कुछ करेगा. This is how the crimes in the world are sustained or maintained. Same aggressive our mind in senses and buddhi, etc., saying that you just shut up, you Vedanta, we know what to do, we will only involve in Nidra, we will only involve in Bhoga, we will only involve in the earning of money and name, fame, and sometime if we feel little paisa हम इधर उधर फेंकेंगे, so that little punya is earned. Shut up. More than that, don't dare to question us, to drop all that and become like a Babaji to do the sadhana. You tell somebody else that to do, not me. No, without saying these words, we behave like that. Otherwise, avidya vinimurti lakshanasya mokshasya vidya adhinatvat tadartha upanishad arabhyate. If this is clearly understood, accepted, can we be without studying and contemplating on the Upanishad and Upanishad theme even a minute? अगर इस बात को हम समझ लेते हैं और कोई चीज जिंदगी में इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकता है क्या? दैट इज वाई दैट सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य. This is where we have to slowly prepare ourselves. This is how we are living now. We have to accept it. Then that has to be changed for spiritual sadhana, spiritual growth. We have to realize it. Then slowly, steadily, we have to reverse the gear. We have to take the U-turn. This is what is called sadhana. In my case, so much clearly it is understood. Still, why should I give satsang and all? ऐसा बंद करके I can go for my own dhyanam, no? So I have my disease of wanting to talk on it. That's what Lord is treating. Good, nobody comes, nobody encourages. Those who एक दो है वो भी चले आते हैं. तो then मुझे अकल आएगा अभी. I'll stop everything and I'll do my sadhana. After all, Lord has to answer my prayer also. He'll have to see that my sadhana also intensely done. Therefore, he will treat it. He will see it. लाख कोशिश करूँ मैं, nobody will encourage me. Out of frustration, I have to drop everything and then go for my sadhana. Isn't it? He treats like that. It is the way. Everybody is like that. Like for a worldly person, worldly frustration he will create so that we turn, if that's required. And if the person is not sober, matured enough to think oneself, ki, if these great things I have done and achieved of the worldliness, why can't I achieve the greatest thing of spirituality? ऐसे करोड़ों में एक होते हैं जो अपने अकल से समझ लेते हैं, कुछ होते हैं दूसरों के प्यार से समझने समझाते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ अस 99.9% आर ओनली व्हेन डंडा लगता है देन वी टर्न टुवर्ड्स द गॉड. अगेन अगेन लगता ही रहना चाहिए तभी जाकर टर्न होता. बट whoever he may be, examples, whether you or me or anybody, we should know that what we are studying, its sacredness, glory, then therefore we have to increase our commitment for it. We have to increase our intensity of what we have to do, aggressiveness of what we have to do. That is the purpose for which आदि शंकर जी हो या ऋषि मुनि हो, उन्होंने वो शास्त्र हमको दिए. So while discussing such thoughts, don't compare with others. और दूसरे लोग तो इतना भी नहीं करते ना. अरे भाई, there's nobody other than you in your spiritual journey. You think about yourself. Where do you stand? What to reach to next level? What to do for it? Clear? Now, yesterday we saw this one. Sarvam jnana plavena eva vrujinam samtarishyasi. Okay, sarvam vrujinam. Okay, entire dukkha, samsara. Here vrujinam is dukkha. Dukkha is samsara, samsara is dukkha. Therefore, sarvam vrujinam, hey Arjuna, samyak tarishyasi. Definitely you will cross the ocean of samsara of the dukkha or kashta. आउटर कष्ट स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ अर्जुन को, बिकॉज युद्ध तो स्टार्ट ही नहीं हुआ, बट इनसाइड ही वाज हैविंग दैट क्लेश और कष्ट और दुख. डेफिनेटली यू विल क्रॉस, भगवान सेज. अर्जुन आस्क्ड हाउ, भगवान सेज बाय ट्रैवलिंग इन ए बोट. अर्जुन आस्क्ड व्हाट बोट? ज्ञान प्लवेन एव. And which jnana? Naturally, obviously, tattva jnana, atma jnana, brahma jnana. Where is it given? In the Upanishads. Are those shastras which are telling what is said in Upanishads only. Therefore, seated in the boat of jnana, entire samsara, dukkha, klesha, we can cross. Now you see the difference in the expression of same thing in Upanishads and in Gita. How aggressive, how deep, how to the point was in Upanishads. And when you study Gita, how thoda diluted hai. That's the difference between the Shruti uncompromisingly, ruthlessly speaks truth, naked truth. When it comes to Shruti, थोड़ा मीठे मीठे मिला के देना पड़ता है कि नहीं? कड़वा दवा दे दो मुझे, बड़ों को दे ठीक, बच्चों को यू कांट गिव कड़वा दवा, वो थूकेगा वो, उसको मीठा मिलाकर कुछ देना पड़ता. ये अर्जुन मेरे प्यारे, सर्वम रुजिनम संतरिष्यसि, ज्ञान बोट में बैठकर. यू अंडरस्टूड? इन उपनिषद ऐसा नहीं था. न कर्मणा न प्रजया न धनेन त्यागे नहीं, बस. Okay, now let this thought go deeply into our heart, that we have to create and travel in the boat of knowledge, Atma Jnana, Siddhanta and Sadhana, till the Siddhi comes. That is the way to cross the entire samsara. Samsara of upadhitadatmya, samsara of giving importance to the world, samsara of becoming karta to do something to get it, and after getting bhokta to involve in it. These all are called vrujinam samsaram, which has no end. In such a way, ki this life, if I die with this samsara, in next life when I am born, I will be born again with this samsara. Never it will end. Understood? Whatever the friendships, relations we are caught up in this life, same will continue next life. What are the money earning programs we are involved in, same we do next life. Whatever the name and fame gaining samsara we are involving, same will continue. Whatever the upadhi sthai bhoga we are seeking or involving, अगले जन्म में वही चलता है, बिकॉज वही है हमारे पास. Then next life say next life, next to next. It will never end unless we put end. And that end has to be put by us and now only. Now nahi hai to never. Here nahi hai to nowhere. This is called as intellection when we can understand it. Isn't it? पिछले हजारों जन्मों से ऐसे ही कर रहे हैं, आगे भी हजारों जन्म ऐसे ही होगा. हमको चेंज करना होता है. दैट चेंज करने के लिए ही ऑल दिस पुरुषार्थ सामर्थ्य भगवान gave. So let me create and travel in the Upanishad Jnana Plava, the boat, the ship, the steamer. सिद्धांत ज्ञान स्पष्ट, साधना स्पष्ट, करते रहो. Isn't it? Then while doing it, we come to know in how many ways we lack the strengths or the disciplines, etc., etc. Then gather one by one. That which has to be gathered, let us gather. That which have to be given up, let us give up. You know, keeping that ultimate goal in the heart, deeply, intensely desiring to achieve it at this present moment, in whatever the gunas or the habits or the worldliness we are lost from that, we have to bring ourselves out, and whatever the positive things to be done, we have to involve in them. This har din exercise is called sadhana. Exactly like the people who are employed in government or private में, how हर दिन सुबह 8 बजे उठकर या 9 बजे they reach to office and do the work. They reach to the workplace and do it. See the typist. भाई गए 9 बजे 9:30 whatever the boss gives, he or she goes on typing. See that clerk. Whatever the dark comes, he'll go on, has to mark it too. अच्छा ये अकाउंट्स वाला है, अकाउंट डिपार्टमेंट में भेजो. पेंशन का है, उधर भेजो. See that section officer, how he every day coordinates with the works of all sections. Anywhere, like any employee in a production unit, depending on his work given. So if it is raw material वाला हर दिन जाके और raw material collect करेगा, उसको moldable बनाएगा, उसका वही काम. The one who is in the production perfect unit, you will only observe the production ठीक आ रहा है कि नहीं, quality. जो पैकिंग वाले का काम, पैकिंग वही है. जो सप्लाई करता है, वो उसको बस डेली ले आके तौलना, उसको लारी या ट्रक में लगाना, तौलना, लगाना. सी दैट ग्रोसरी शॉप ऑल्सो, है ना. द थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ पीपल, द अकाउंट सेक्शन वाले, द सेल्स एंड डिस्पैच वाले, द ऑर्डर करके जब स्टॉक आता है उसको नोट करने वाले. दे डू दैट वर्क ओनली एवरी डे. 20, 30, 40 years ऑफ सर्विस. हमको भी, if we are spiritual seekers, every day we have to do this. What are the obstructions? What are the blockades that are there? To remove them, what is to be done? And what are positive things done to be done to go nearer to my goal? उसको करना. यही है दिन ब दिन, जन्म जन्म, till the final goal is achieved. That is what is the second meaning we have to catch. After the direct meaning is understood. Direct meaning is Sarva Mrujinam Jnana Plavena Eva Samtarishyasi. Eva word, yesterday we have explained detailedly. Only by Jnana Plava and definitely by Jnana Plava. Only by Jnana Plava means other than the boat of the knowledge, nothing can take you across. Definitely means what? Once that knowledge is gained, Siddhanta and sadhana is done, and really when it is experienced, definitely the Vrujana Santarana can be experienced. So this is how every of these quotes have to be totally nichodo karna hai of its essence, of its meaning, and feel it in the heart. Then see that it is working in intensifying our longing for the truth, effort for the truth. Right? Let us do one more today. Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha Mm. That is actually the next sloka only. So sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijnam santarishyasi. Then yathaidhamsi samidhognihi bhasmasat kurte arjuna. Jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurite tatha. So yatha edhamsi samidha agnihi bhasmasat kurute. Samidha agnihi. Samyak iddha agnihi. Very well lit fire, fully blazing. Into that edhamsi means the samidhas, when you offer them, what that aggressively glowing fire does with these ahutis that are offered, bhasmasat kurute. See that example. We have seen our introduction also, same thing, no? The aggressiveness of the sadhana, the intensity of the desire, the clearest clarity about the goal. वही आया देखो पॉइंट भी. The shloka is Yatha Edhamsi Samidha Agnihi Bhasmasat Kurute Arjuna. That is the example, which is not quoted here. Then the next two lines are the Shankar Bhagavan quotes Jnana Agnihi Sarva Karmani Bhasmasat Kurute Tatha. So what is that? Is Jnana Agni. Understood? Jnana itself is the fire. Sarva Karmani. All karmas. All karmas are three: the Sanchita karma, the Prarabdha karma, the Agami karma. Prarabdha are never generally destroyed unless need is there, intense prayer is there if the Lord wills. That Prarabdha is the results set in motion. They will end only with the end of the Sharira. A Jnani doesn't bother about it. Jnana samprapti samaye muktoso vigatashaya. He will not be attached to upadhi. Upadhi हमको प्रारब्ध है. So that way is anyway liberated from the prarabdha. But other two things, the sanchita, millions of lives we have gathered so much of sanchita karma, because of which we are supposed to take hundreds and thousands of janma. All that get becomes bhasmasat. And in the present, now we are not a desirer, kami. Therefore, we are not doer, karta. Therefore, we don't want to become a bhokta. That is why in the present life, we live such a decent way that the new karmas are not added. That's called as agami karma, not added. So agami not added, sanchita burnt, prarabdha is gone, go through, because that is only to the upadhi, you can't avoid. In this way, sarva karmani, all the three karmas, bhasmasat, भस्म कर देगा एक ज्ञान अग्नि. यथा एधांसि समिद्ध अग्नि भस्मसात कुरुते अर्जुन तथा ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात कुरुते. भस्मसात मीन्स भस्म की तरह बना देना, ashes. Now the example of the fire is very apt here, isn't it? When you expose anything to the fire's ability is to destroy that thing completely. नामो निशान मिटा देता है. निशान नहीं है वो, नाम नहीं है उसका. Naam is there in the mind, but it has no corresponding object. Bhasmasat kurute. What a powerful way of saying. So, jnana agni, sarva karmani, jnana agni, sarva karmani, bhasmasat kurute. Hey Arjuna, tatha. Just like that, yatha, the blazing fire is burning the oblations into ashes. Power of the jnana agni to burn all the karma. Beautiful, no? Now the reverse of it, like every time we study, if that jnana agni is not killed in us, then the karma agni will not be burnt. When they are not burnt, they are active alive. When they are active alive, they show their influence. The influence of these karmas are the aneka janma marana bandhana. See one of that Guru Stotra shlokas. You might have studied it long, many times. Aneka janma samprapta karma bandha vidahine atmajnana pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma. कर्म बंध विदाहिने बर्न करने वाले हे गुरु हाउ आत्मज्ञान प्रदानेन that atmajnana is the agni in that the vidahanam complete burning of aneka janma samprapta karma. If it is not burnt, it leads to the karma bandha. What is the bandhanam? Forcefully, necessarily. We are forced to be born in one or the other yoni, sharir, human ho, manusya, pakshi ho. Then there identify the upadhi. We just go through all limitations of janma, jara, roga, mrityu. And in between many other things. देखो how clear are our shastras, but then repeated listenings are required for registering first, for contemplating second, for understanding and accepting third, then for aggressively practicing. Therefore jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. If the jnanagni is not kindled, karma bhasma nahi hoga, the karma will remain active, then they will make us go through the janma marana samsara. You know, here, one thought I want to discuss is what we are not worried about Janma Marana Swami because we are not doing any papa. We are lot of punya only doing. Therefore, every Janma of ours is with luxuries, with lavishness, with money, with the people to love us, help us. So we don't need it. This is the biggest problem when we do the punya because everything will be goody goody. But one thing, my dear friend, the old age and death, though you can't avoid, na? Bolo. Second thing is what? When there is something eternal and immutable and birth changeless, infinite bliss can be achieved. Why can't you aim at that? These two things if it clicks, सब ठीक है लेकिन शांत है. दूसरी बात, there is another ananta which can be gained. In these two things, if that person gets convinced, he can really be spiritual. The other fellows who are suffering throughout life because of karma, they can anyway easily convinced for spirituality. दुखी लोगों को कन्विंस करना इजी होता है. वो जो सुखी भोगी होते हैं ना, with full of name and fame and money and 100 people around on the back and call and order, तो difficult to convince him. So सब कुछ ठीक ठाक है, मैं क्यों करूं साधना? अब to convince him, nobody can do. He will have to convince from inside these two things. क्योंकि ये भी खत्म होएगा. But there is other ultimate, better than this is there. Wonderful. सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. बोलो इसको 11 बार. ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. 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 ज्ञानाग्निः 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 सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. Just like when we read a paper, in that any new product in a new shop is being launched, when you see it, you look at it, you read the details, you find the sophistications in it, you desire for it, you just wear your pant shirt and all, you take the money back or go to the shop, pay the money, you buy that thing and come. Same way, study the Shastra, know the importance of the theme that is told, then be in that suited, booted, quoted spiritually, go for that sadhana and buy that product of Paramatma Anubhuti through the money paid, money of the regularity, sincerity of sadhana. इश्तेहार पढ़ लिया, वस्तु के लिए गए, अब शास्त्र पढ़ा, परमात्मा के लिए निकलना है हमको, है ना. By rolling up our sleeves, tightening our belts, we have to involve, jump into that sadhana. हम नहीं तो कभी नहीं, हम नहीं तो कोई नहीं, यहाँ नहीं तो कहीं नहीं. To create that thing only, every day we have to listen to Shastra. Every day listening, still it is not happening. On the pretext of boredom or any other reason, if we stop listening, then who will give us the knowledge? Who will make the knowledge an intense desire? Nobody can. देखो भाई कैसा माया काम करता है, कैसा मन. देखो yesterday shloka in Yoga Vasishtha was so powerful, बाबा क्या बताए ना. A person's dheerata is like Meru Parvata. His sthirata is like an ocean. And yet, a small Trishna will come and make that fellow's all great qualities as Trunayate, घास के पत्ते की तरह उखाड़ देता. See the power of the mind and its maya of the Trishna, etc. कि greatest sadhaka is also made like a Truna. पढ़ा ना कल ही हम योग वासिष्ठ में, कितना पावरफुल थॉट. Therefore, how much careful we have to be with our precious human life to use it for the best of the purposes by our own choice and our own efforts. उड़ा छोड़ दिया हवा में तो कितने सारे हवाएं हैं इसमें जिंदगी में जो हम साधक को घास पत्ती की तरह उखाड़ के संसार में फेंकने को. So many winds are blowing, the outer and inner winds, to just take us and make us land in samsara. अब इस बात में किसी को समझदारी मेच्योरिटी नहीं है तो इज इमेच्योर्ड, इट डजंट फिट. So he can listen to some bhajan sandhya, he can go to some temple, do some dana karma, get some punya and get namaskar by others. He is layak for that. Continue. Isn't it? Always choice is ours. From the absolute worldliness to become semi-spiritual is our choice. From the semi to the real spirituality also our choice. We have two more slokas. Etad buddhva buddhiman, then tato mam tatuto gnatva. Such a beautiful slokas they are. I need minimum 10 minutes to talk on it. तो कल हम इसका एंजॉय करेंगे. ओम 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 ओम. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो परम ऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे तत्सत्. ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. थैंक यू.